At 68, Bishop T.D. Jakes has revealed battles that shook him to his core, struggles he kept hidden for decades. From personal pain to public scrutiny, the man millions look up to has faced moments that would break even the strongest among us. Tonight, we dive deep into the secrets, the setbacks, and the shocking truths that T.D. Jakes never shared, until now. You won't believe what's coming next. Bishop T.D. Jakes is a name synonymous with power, influence, and inspiration. Millions around the world turn to him for guidance, motivation, and spiritual wisdom. But behind the sermons, the books, and the massive events lies a story that very few have seen. In this video, we're going to uncover the hidden struggles and painful battles that T.D. Jakes has faced throughout his life and ministry. From moments of deep personal loss to challenges that threatened his public image, we will explore the untold side of the man who has always seemed larger than life. You'll get the facts, the details, and even some revelations that are bound to shock you. By the end of this video, you'll not only see T.D. Jakes in a new light, but also understand the resilience and determination it took for him to overcome these trials. Stay with us, because some of the moments we're about to reveal are so surprising, they could change the way you view one of the world's most influential spiritual leaders. Before T.D. Jakes became a global megachurch leader and an inspirational icon, his journey was anything but easy. Born in South Charleston, West Virginia in 1957, he grew up in a world marked by challenges most of us can only imagine. His family life was complicated, and, like many young men in difficult environments, he faced economic hardships and social pressures that could have easily derailed his future. As a child, Jakes experienced the harsh realities of growing up in a segregated America, witnessing systemic inequalities firsthand. These experiences instilled in him both a resilience and a deep empathy for those who struggled. But what many don't know is that his early years were also marked by moments of personal doubt and fear. Even as a young boy, he questioned whether he could ever rise above the circumstances that seemed stacked against him. During his teenage years, Jakes faced spiritual struggles as well. Although he felt a calling toward ministry, it wasn't an easy path. There were times when he doubted his own abilities and wondered whether he had what it took to lead others. The pressure of living up to expectations, both from his family and his own inner voice, was immense. He often confided in close mentors and church leaders, seeking guidance, yet the journey remained rocky and uncertain. It was during these formative years that Jakes began developing the traits that would define his later ministry: determination, resilience, and an unshakable belief that he was meant for something greater. But the battles didn't stop there. His early adulthood would bring even more challenges that would test him physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Stay tuned, because in the next section, we'll uncover a chapter of T.D. Jakes' life that very few people know about, an incredibly painful period that nearly ended his journey before it even truly began. After overcoming the trials of his youth, T.D. Jakes stepped into ministry with a mix of passion, vision, and determination. But the path was far from smooth. Launching a ministry is never easy, and for Jakes, the obstacles were both external and internal. In the beginning, he faced skepticism from church leaders and critics who doubted his ability to lead a congregation on a large scale. Many told him that his ideas were too ambitious, that his dream of creating a ministry that could reach millions was unrealistic. Financial struggles were another major challenge. Like many fledgling ministries, Jakes' early church faced months, sometimes years, where paying bills and supporting the staff felt impossible. There were moments when he questioned whether the sacrifices were worth it, wondering if his vision was simply too big for the resources available. But even in those moments of doubt, something kept him moving forward, a deep-seated belief that he was called for this work. One of the most difficult parts of this period was the personal toll it took on him. Jakes has admitted in interviews that the pressure of building a ministry, while also maintaining family life, was overwhelming. There were nights filled with anxiety, wrestling with questions like, am I doing enough? Am I failing the people who believe in me? Am I strong enough to endure? It was during these years that he learned the hard truth that leadership in ministry is not just about preaching, it's about endurance, sacrifice, and sometimes facing isolation. And yet, it wasn't only financial and emotional struggles that shaped him. Jakes also faced health challenges during these early years, periods of exhaustion, and moments when his body and mind simply felt overwhelmed. The weight of responsibility threatened to break him more than once, and some close to him feared that he might step away from ministry entirely. But each setback became a lesson, each obstacle a stepping stone that would prepare him for the global platform he would eventually command. Here's the shocking part many don't know. During this early phase, Jakes faced a scandalous rumor that could have ruined his reputation before it even started. While details were carefully kept private, insiders hinted at false allegations and misunderstandings that circulated in church circles. These rumors put him under intense scrutiny, and for a time, it seemed that the very community he sought to uplift might turn against him. Despite the struggles and near-breaking moments of his early ministry, T.D. Jakes experienced a turning point that would forever alter the trajectory of his life and career. This period was marked by both personal growth and a series of bold, strategic decisions that transformed him from a local pastor into one of the most influential spiritual leaders in the world. One of the first major catalysts for this transformation was his decision to expand his ministry beyond the walls of his church. Jakes realized that his message, rooted in hope, empowerment, and practical faith, had the potential to reach far more people than just those attending services on Sunday mornings. He began organizing conferences, workshops, and outreach programs designed to engage people from all walks of life. This move was risky. It required significant financial investment and immense personal energy, but Jakes had a vision that could not be contained. During this phase, he also began embracing media as a tool for ministry. He launched television broadcasts, authored books, and utilized early forms of online platforms to connect with an audience that stretched far beyond his immediate community. Each new platform brought new challenges. Critics accused him of commercializing faith, while naysayers claimed he was overreaching. Yet, with each criticism, Jakes grew stronger, learning how to navigate public scrutiny without losing his message or his integrity. But the turning point wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. Around this time, Jakes faced one of the most painful experiences of his life, the loss of a close family member and the intense scrutiny that came with it. These experiences forced him to confront grief, doubt, and vulnerability in a very public way. What many saw as weakness, Jakes turned into strength. He began openly addressing human suffering in his sermons, showing audiences that faith is not about perfection, but about resilience and the courage to rise after falling. This authenticity resonated deeply with people, earning him a following that would soon span millions worldwide. It was also during this period that T.D. Jakes encountered a situation that would test his leadership and integrity like never before. Insider reports suggest that a major organizational challenge threatened to split his ministry, with staff disagreements and external pressures creating tension. For weeks, Jakes faced what he describes as the darkest moments of his career, moments when failure seemed inevitable. Yet he navigated these challenges with a combination of strategic thinking, prayer, and sheer perseverance, ultimately solidifying his reputation as a visionary leader who could endure both personal and professional storms. By the mid-1990s, Jakes' ministry had exploded onto the national scene. Mega conferences, televised sermons, and best-selling books made him a household name. But even as the world celebrated his success, the battles he had fought and the scars he carried remained largely invisible to the public. It's these hidden struggles, the ones he rarely discussed, that reveal the true depth of his journey. Even as T.D. Jakes rose to global prominence, amassing millions of followers, best-selling books, and a media empire, he carried burdens that very few people could see. At 68, he finally opened up about some of the most painful struggles in his life, battles that tested him emotionally, spiritually, and personally. These are the stories that reveal the man behind the powerful sermons and motivational speeches. One of the most significant struggles he shared involves health and emotional exhaustion. Jakes admitted that the relentless pace of ministry, combined with the pressure of public expectations, took a toll on his body and mind. There were moments when exhaustion was so severe that he questioned whether he could continue leading. Sleep became elusive, stress weighed heavily, and for a period, he experienced a sense of isolation that many in leadership can relate to, but few discuss openly. He described these moments as being in a spiritual desert where even faith felt like a fragile thread. Beyond physical and emotional struggles, Jakes also spoke about personal relationships and the toll ministry can take on family life. As a husband and father, he faced the challenge of balancing his personal commitments with the enormous demands of his ministry. There were times when family had to wait while he focused on conferences, media appearances, and church responsibilities. The guilt and pressure from these decisions created inner conflict, forcing him to reconcile his public calling with his private responsibilities. It's a struggle that many leaders face silently, but Jake's willingness to speak about it resonates with millions who also feel torn between ambition and personal life. Another revelation that shocked some followers involves the spiritual battles he endured. Despite his public image as a strong, unwavering spiritual leader, Jakes admitted to moments of doubt and spiritual questioning. He spoke candidly about nights filled with prayer, questioning whether he was truly equipped to handle the responsibilities placed upon him. These moments of vulnerability are rarely associated with someone of his stature, yet they reveal the humanity behind the ministry. Jakes explained that facing doubt head-on rather than hiding it was key to growing stronger and more authentic in his leadership. Perhaps most surprising to the public were the revelations about his encounters with criticism, envy, and even betrayal within the ministry world. Jakes hinted at situations where colleagues or associates spread misinformation, undermined his work, or challenged his integrity. While he didn't dive into explicit details, the acknowledgement of these struggles demonstrates the complex environment that comes with leading a global spiritual movement. For someone many view as untouchable, these challenges highlight the personal cost of leadership at the highest level. And yet, through all these trials, what stands out is Jakes's resilience. He transformed pain into purpose, doubt into determination, and criticism into an opportunity to strengthen his message. His ability to endure these battles while continuing to inspire millions is nothing short of extraordinary. But the story doesn't end here. Some of the most shocking revelations involve moments that could have completely shattered his public image, but instead, they became turning points that defined the second chapter of his life. In the next section, we'll explore these almost unbelievable moments, including incidents that tested his faith and integrity in ways no one could have predicted. Even after decades of success, T.D. Jakes' journey was not without moments that could have derailed everything he had built. At 68, he revealed that some experiences came dangerously close to shaking not just his career, but his reputation and personal faith. These are the incidents that show the stakes of leadership at the highest level and the human vulnerability behind the public persona. One such moment involved intense criticism from within the church world. As his ministry expanded, Jakes faced backlash from certain leaders who questioned his methods, his growing influence, and even his interpretations of Scripture. Rumors circulated, some alleging financial impropriety, others criticizing his rapid rise as opportunistic rather than spiritually guided. While most of these claims were unfounded, the scrutiny placed immense pressure on Jakes, forcing him to defend his character and the integrity of his ministry repeatedly. This period was emotionally exhausting, and insiders say that it nearly caused him to step back from public ministry entirely. Another shocking revelation revolves around the pressures of leading a global platform. Jakes disclosed that at times the weight of expectations almost broke him. The constant need to inspire, to be a moral example, and to maintain spiritual authority while dealing with personal struggles was overwhelming. There were moments when he admits to feeling isolated, as if no one could truly understand the pressure he was under. This sense of isolation was magnified by the reality that any misstep could be publicly scrutinized and misinterpreted, potentially leading to scandal. Perhaps most startling to followers were hints about personal attacks and betrayals. Jakes alluded to situations where colleagues or even associates tried to undermine him, sometimes through gossip, other times by challenging his decisions or intentions. These conflicts weren't just minor disagreements. They were high-stakes encounters that had the potential to damage both his reputation and the trust of his congregation. He had to navigate these challenges with caution, wisdom, and a careful balance between transparency and discretion. Despite these threats, Jakes' response revealed his character. Rather than retaliating or stepping away, he used these experiences to strengthen his leadership. Each challenge became a lesson in patience, discernment, and spiritual resilience. His ability to rise above criticism and remain focused on his mission inspired many of his followers, showing that true leadership is not only about vision, but also about enduring trials with grace. There was also a deeply personal side to these near scandals that shocked even longtime followers. Behind the scenes, Jakes faced criticism that affected his family life, including stress that strained relationships and tested his personal resolve. These were battles no sermon could cover, challenges that demanded private reflection, and moments when he relied heavily on prayer, mentorship, and self-discipline to stay grounded. And just when it seemed the storm had passed, there was another revelation that could have threatened everything he worked for. An experience that revealed just how fragile success can be. But rather than succumbing to fear or public opinion, Jakes turned these moments into opportunities to teach resilience, faith, and the importance of maintaining integrity under pressure.